What's going on, everybody? My name's Cameron. I'm here with my bro Hunter, and this is Bro Sock Baseball Extra Innings. We are live at spring training in Camelback Ranch. Hunter, how you doing today?
Doing well, sir. Doing well. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here, too. Happy to be here on a beautiful day of baseball. Beautiful morning, you know. No one's here. It's good to have, like, the stadium to yourself. You know what I mean?
Birds are chirping, you know, mountains being tamped.
Yep.
Well, you know, what else? Where do you want to be? Guys doing push-ups in the corner over there. This is a dream.
Yeah, and you know what we're going to do? Today's episode of Bro Sock Baseball Extra Innings is going to be dedicated solely to our time here at spring training. But before we want to talk about that, we've got some things that we want to plug. As you may have heard or seen or know, I changed my Instagram handle to @BaseballBro, so you can go follow me there. Now, the second change, the biggest change, I think, is to this podcast. Unfortunately, my brother has decided to go elsewhere, but nevertheless, stay tuned for Hunter.
Two dudes and a bro.
Two dudes and a bro, featuring the baseball bro, Hunter, and
our sacred commissioner goes by the name of Ethan Dinitz.
Now, Hunter, could you explain this podcast a little bit to the guys who are unfamiliar? Obviously, everybody.
Absolutely. I'm really excited about this podcast. It's going to be pretty much about player updates, fantasy trends, and we're going to even sprinkle in a little bit, kind of a 5-minute segment of our week-to-week league info. So you kind of get the feel of, if you're not sure about joining a fantasy baseball league, you get the feel of the day-to-day, you know, talking or
how it goes down, pretty much.
Trade talk, yeah, how it goes down. But I'm super excited, and between, you know, you, Ethan, it's going to be a great segment.
Yeah, it'll be great. I'll kind of be like the facilitator of conversation. Ethan and Hunter will be the dudes, you know, giving their take, and it'll be good conversation, good discussion. Now, let's talk about spring training. If you want to see a condensed, highlighted version of this, you can go check out on my channel, Triples Alley. Our latest episode is going to be on spring training. Here's a little sneak peek tease.
Cam, is that you?
Hunter?
May I have this catch?
Of course.
No, you stop, Cam. Cam, enough!
All right, there you have it. But let's, for the people who want to hear more details, people who want to get more insight, let's walk them through day by day, step by step, what we experienced here. So day one, we get in.
Thursday night.
Thursday night. Yes, Thursday night.
6-hour drive. We powered through it. We both got our seeds, got our cups, and
of course,
almost went through the whole bag. It's a great drive. Get in late night.
Plan for tomorrow, pretty much.
Yeah, and we're hungry for Friday. Friday morning. What do we do?
Friday morning. Well, first off, we thought we were going to have to wake up at like 6 because we thought the game would be at 1. But fortunately enough, with the time change for us, it would be like getting up at 5 normally. The game was pushed back to 6 p.m. It was a night game. Not really pushed back, but I guess it was always at 6 and we just didn't know.
Yeah, and also casually aired on ESPN.
Casually, you know.
Oops.
Uh-oh. But nevertheless, we woke up at a casual 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Got ready, you know, got the stuff together, got all the spider webs out of our system, and headed down to Camelback Ranch.
Yeah, we headed down. No prisoners attitude. We got free parking, and we liked it. Once we got in there, we finally, after hunting around for our media credentials, finally got them. And then we were kind of like, you know, we didn't know where everything was. So we had to get a layout of the field. And
yeah, it was our first time. We kind of go to the field. No one's here. We were trying to look for all the baseball players. No one really gave me a guidebook on how to, like, I don't know, do spring training. I've, had my background in Fox Deportes, and I've been to stadiums and stuff, and I've been on that side of the baseball field, but I've never done it on my own, and I never done it here in Arizona. So it was kind of a new experience for both of us. But I did get some tips from some talent that I've worked with in the past, and they said, you know, the time to do it is like 3 hours, 4 hours before the game. You go in the locker room, you get your interviews, you're out, then you go on the field possibly for some live shots if you want. So I knew that. So I knew we got to get here early. Now I just need to know where the clubhouse is and what's a good time to go in, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So after we were wandering around forever, we finally decided to ask where the clubhouse was. And, you know, lo and behold, we only had to wait 10 minutes till it opened up. And we wandered around, opened the door, and boom, the LA Dodgers.
Tell me about that first experience for you.
I couldn't feel my legs. You know, besides that, it was crazy. We walked in, really cool to see. You know, all the guys you grow up watching, you know, finally in front of you, you know, playing ping pong, and you know, they're dudes too.
Yeah, it's crazy your first experience. I remember my first experience going to the locker room. It's like all the oxygen is just pumped in there, and when you enter, it's like you get hit with like a wave of like
emotion.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't know, it's crazy. You just have a constant smile on your face.
Yeah.
You're trying not to look like a fan.
A little bit of drool, yeah, but you're trying to keep it professional.
Mm-hmm. The best thing is to fake it till you make it. You fake it long enough, and then boom, you're one of the media guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Our first interview was with Alex Verdugo, and that was funny because like,
top prospect.
Dude might be a stud someday. Exactly. But like his demeanor was different than most of the other players, right?
Yeah, he like you could tell like he hadn't done too many interviews. So when we asked him to interview, like as opposed to the other major leaguers, he was like, "Oh boy, well, gee."
Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah, well, not quite like that, but he was excited, and
that's how I felt. I mean, I felt important, so I like to imagine that's how it went down. But
yeah,
he got a smile. He's happy. He's laughing at our shirts. Yeah. We had matching shirts. You're not wearing yours today because it got a little gross, but
for obvious reasons.
Yeah, but yeah, we got an interview with him. We got one with Kenta and his translator. How was that?
Oh, that was awesome. His Japanese translator his name was.
I think it was like Taco. I think.
Casually.
Casually Taco. He's like, "Hi, I'm Taco. Hi, Taco."
What's your real name?
I'm like
Taco.
and we asked him for the interview first, and he's like, "Here, let me ask Kenta." And he goes over. And he's like, and then Kenta looks over at us.
Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, I guess."
And then Taco's like, he's good. He's good. Let's do it. I'm like, okay, cool. We go over there, and we're asking him all these questions. And I mean, I don't think the questions we were asking Kenta needed a translator for, but it was cool nevertheless to have one.
Absolutely, because you see Kenta after he pitches a 7-inning shutout game, he's got his translator, or you see his translator Taco go to the mound with him.
Yeah.
And we're just talking to the translator.
Yeah, that's cool. Casually. Then we got Walker Buehler, one of the future studs of the MLB, in my opinion.
Possible Cy Young candidate this year.
Exactly. And then we also got Max Muncy, just casually led the league in home runs per at bat last year with I don't know what the ratio was, but he had 36 on the year and like very significantly less amount of at bats that most players had.
Yeah, Maxi boy had the grease back hair. The guy's a bowling ball. He's gonna hit some bombs.
Yeah, he's a thick dude. He's short but thick.
Yeah.
I mean, like not short in retrospect to most people, but I thought he'd just be this imposing player. He's not really.
No, not really. He's once we got to talking with him, we were just asking about any good in ping pong, and he's like, not really. I don't bother playing. But Kirsch, he holds it down in the locker room, and Walker, he said, was pretty good too.
Yeah, exactly. So we did our interviews with the players, and right now we're just like on a high. We're like, we could go home. This is awesome. This is great. But we still had a whole weekend ahead of us. We headed down to the field, took some pictures on the field. You, Hunter, I saw you boldly take the position of right behind the catcher and Ryu as he was warming up, getting some footage.
I essentially had my hand on the back of the umpire.
One hand here, the camera up there, recording.
Yeah, no, I mean more or less, but it was really cool. I was right behind Ryu, and he was throwing the cheddar. So I got to see that firsthand.
That was awesome. That's awesome. Saw a good game. Don't think the Dodgers ended up winning that game, but it was just fun being out there, the atmosphere, and getting to know the fans a little bit more.
Yeah.
Want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we did an interview with a bunch of the fans, and we were seeing if, how good of a fan are they? If they knew the prospects, and we mixed in our boy over here, Super Cam B's name, in the middle of the two pretty big prospects, Dustin May, and
DJ Peters, yeah.
And all the fans are like, "Oh yes, Cam Bennett, I love Cam Bennett." Easily, Cam's like, "Do you think he has a chance for Rookie of the Year?" And they're like, "Oh, no question about it. This guy just has speed. He's top of the order type of guy. I like everything he brings to the table."
I mean, what can I say? I bring it. I bring it everywhere I go, and people resonate with that.
That just goes to show how much fans really do know. Not
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, you put a camera in front of them and a mic in their face, and they'll say whatever you feed them, pretty much. So if you ever see those fake news things on Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, that's never scripted, I don't think. I think that's all legitimate,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, we did both those segments. You can find those on my Instagram or on my YouTube channel. But then next day, day 2, it's hard to beat day 1, right?
No question.
And going into day 2, we kind of understood that. We didn't have any media credentials for the Cubs facility. However,
What do we want them? We don't want,
No,
hands behind the Cubs. No thanks.
being Dodger fans at all. But nevertheless, we still go. Try to have like more of a fan experience, see if we get some signatures, I could do a giveaway, something like that. But
The Cubs facility was pretty much closed off.
pretty much.
Then again, we should have gotten there a little earlier, but the players weren't really coming out and signing. They did a little charity Buzz Your Hair deal, which was cool, but there was 2,000 fans there, so
Yeah,
we really couldn't get into the
just
action.
a swarm of fans, shoving, pushing, everything.
Little kids running everywhere,
Yeah, you use
getting pinned against the railings.
let me get an autograph. It was like a concert for I don't know, Metallica.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little mosh pit action.
Yeah, they're moshing in the middle. That game ended up being sold out, and I mean, I thought spring training was kind of one of those things where you buy the ticket at the stadium, you get in there, you sit at a lawn seat ticket, and you sit wherever you want because it's just empty. But no, this game is sold out.
Yeah, you think of spring training and you're like, well, it'll probably be half full. No, not too many people there. But, hats off to the Cubs and the Brewers. I think it was also a rivalry game.
Playing the Brewers
And it was
on a
sold-
Saturday.
And it was sold out, so.
Yeah, good
You
job.
live and you learn.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what can you do about that? Now, nevertheless, we took the L there. We traveled on over to the Seattle Mariners facility because I have a friend, Mike Fairchild. He's a pitcher in the organization, and he gave me a little insight on what it is like to be a minor leaguer. Now, not only did he do that, but he also gave us a tour of the facility, and it was good. I liked it. What do you think?
It was nice. It was pretty cool. He showed us the workout room, the kind of the bullpen area, their ping pong game room, a little bit of the locker room for the minor leaguers. And what I found interesting was at the beginning of breakfast, every time each player, or I think up to 4 in the morning, stand up, talk a little bit about themselves, where they're from, and introduce I think a guest it was.
Yeah.
And they talk about that. So then everyone in the organization gets to know each other.
And they had a little map pinning where everyone was from, and how we're all connected to Seattle, kind of signified by this red line that pins someone from I don't know, Japan to Seattle, on the map.
It was really cool because there's so many players. I mean, everyone thinks of the major, the major league team is what? How many on the roster?
40 on the roster, 25 on the MLB roster.
Yeah, but you don't think about the minor leagues, and they have up to four.
Well, they got rookie ball, low A, high A, double, triple, and then they also have I think a development league and stuff like that.
So we're talking, 100 guys,
Yeah.
So that was a cool thing they did to get to know each other.
Yeah, I mean, every organization has their own thing, and I think getting to know a little bit more about the Seattle Mariners one is kind of appreciates the bonding experience that the whole organization has, no matter if you're a minor leaguer, a big leaguer, whatever. You know, it makes it easier for the transition for those guys in the system to come up to the majors and perform, really.
Yeah.
It was cool, though. We saw the new pitcher, the new Japanese pitcher, just chilling in the jacuzzi, and then after we saw him kind of just hanging out.
Up on a bench, kind of outside. And he's like Japan's ace, you know, like one of the best pitchers in the country, period.
He made Joey Votto look like an absolute fool on a curveball. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. That was pretty intense. But yeah, anyway, so he was just casually sitting there on the bench with his sneaks, you know, some fresh sneaks on.
That was Hunter's go-to line. I never told you about this, but every single time we'd be with somebody and you were like, there's nothing being said or whatever, you'd like look down and you're like, hey, fresh sneaks.
You know what? And everyone likes to be complimented by their shoes. And Walker Buehler said, thank you.
Yeah, it's true. It was like, I'm not even looking down there. That's funny. It's like how we're different. I'm not even looking at their sneakers, and it kind of catches me.
I'm taking it all in, head to toe. You know, nothing gets past me. I'll tell you right now.
That's great. That's great. So after the Seattle Mariners facility tour, we called it a day. Woke up the next morning pretty early and headed down to the Rockies facility because you know what? If it's one thing that I didn't want to happen again was for a game to be sold out and not have an opportunity to go see another MLB team play. Yeah. So we got there early.
Cameron wanted to buy the tickets online. I said, no, let's hold out. And we held out, and we got the tickets for like $24.
Yeah, you were right on this one. That's good.
Thank you. We had a little catch ourselves, put in a few seeds, watched a little BP, a little bunty.
We got to see one of the top prospects for the Rockies, Brendan Rodgers, take BP.
Brendan, I think, yeah.
Brendan, yeah.
And he's kind of got the old mullet working, but he's a stud. I think he's the #1 prospect for the Rockies. And he looked good in BP, and he played well in the game.
Yeah, he did. He got hit a line drive in the gap. It's pretty nice.
No dinger, but it was a line drive. Yeah.
Now, here's a good story. I mean, other than the fact that I made a giant sign that said, "Sign my ball. Grown men are fans too." And don't sign this kid's ball, by the way, and put it over little kids as the Rockies players are coming down. You can check that out. I sound redundant at this point on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram page. But there was a point we were watching Nolan hit. And, I mean, I'm going to have to take credit on this one. All right? I never said this about any other player, right? Not on any other pitch. And I was like, Nolan, take it deep. Go deep. What did he do, Hunter?
He took it deep.
He took it deep, dude. He listened to me. Somehow we have a connection. So, Nolan, if you're watching this, I always like to shout out the players if I talk about them, just in case they're watching, you know. Nolan, if you're watching this, like, you know, I'm your good luck charm. Why don't you take me on all your road games, and I'll predict every single one of your home runs this year. What do you say, buddy? Let's do it.
Well, speaking from Nolan's, what he would say, you know, what I would say, absolutely. Let's go, Cam.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he would say. So let's try to get Nolan to see this. What do you think of the Rockies facility? They share it with the Diamondbacks, but it looks like Coors Field. So.
It was nice. It was really nice. You know, that was probably the nicest facility besides, you know, here. It was beautiful, obviously, but I like that. They had a banana boat outfield, sunscreen dispensers.
That was clutch, dude. We're getting ripped.
A little bit of a redneck going. Calves were burning. Did that stop me? No. Sunscreen up, lathered up, and we kept going. We kept grinding, and we did our thing. It was a beautiful facility.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very beautiful. After that, caught drinks with some friends, called it a night, and now we're here today. That brings us all the way back. We go full circle, Hunter. Started at Dodger Camelback Stadium, ends at Dodger Camelback Stadium. And this was your first spring training trip. This was my second, technically, but it was my first. It was my first like weekend here as a fan. I went previously with my team back in 2017, but it was for one game. We had a tournament out here, so we stopped by and watched an A's game. What did you think of it?
Great experience. I loved it. I loved visiting all the facilities, meeting all the players. It all tied together really well. It was exhausting. You know, we were beat at the end of every night.
That sun drains you.
Yeah, absolutely. Sun takes it out of you, but I had a great time.
Now, let's give them a tease of Two Dudes and a Bro, because that's our new podcast. It's going to be airing next episode next week. Our debut episode with Ethan Dinitz as well. We saw a lot of teams. We saw a lot of prospects, a lot of minor league guys. What's one that stands out to you that you might draft on your fantasy team?
It's got to be Padres' possible second baseman. He's a shortstop utility guy, Luis Urias. That guy, in the game we watched, I think he went 3 for 3 versus the Dodgers, and all solid contact. He was raking, and he's already, pretty highly touted prospect.
He already has some MLB experience too, right?
Already has some MLB experience, and he was originally, before Manny was signed, he was slated in at the opening day shortstop because Tatis is, because of arbitration, down in the minor leagues for at least 2 weeks. So I think after they signed Manny, moved him over to third. They're going to put Tatis over at short, and Luis is going to either platoon with Kinsler at second or maybe win the starting job.
I like that. I like that prediction. For me personally, I'd have to go with someone on the Rockies. I don't think Brendan Rodgers is going to crack the lineup this year. Just unfortunately, Trevor Story's got that position locked down. But I mean, I'm seeing a potential bounce back candidate out of Daniel Murphy. Not so much a sleeper or a prospect, but the guy had a very rough season last year. He's 33 years old. But if there's anything that Daniel Murphy could do, we know he can hit. Guy's built like a machine. And Coors Field is just the perfect place for a player, a veteran, to come and revitalize a once really prevalent offensive career.
Yeah.
And Coors Field has the effect to do that for someone. If he goes low enough, I say take a risk on Daniel Murphy. He's got second base, first base eligibility too. And you know that they're not just going to sign him and not play him. I think he's going to get a fair share at some of the starts.
Especially since DJ's gone. He's on the Yankees now, so that clears a spot for him. And the Rockies have a lot of prospects, but I think Murphy's going to, get some solid starting playing time.
I think the flexibility that they have with his positioning, put him at second, put him at first, it opens up doors for those prospects to seep in, like McMahon or Mac. Was it Mick?
I want my baby back. Baby back. I want my baby back.
What is his name,
Ryan
dude?
McMahon, I think.
McMahon. I keep saying Mick Mahoon. Keep mixing it up, but I wanted to say it right for the podcast. They have him, and then they have that second base prospect. His name's blanking me, but I think those guys will filter in.
Brendan Rodgers.
No, not Brandon Rodgers. The other guy. He's another shortstop, second baseman, infielder.
Pat Vallejo.
Yeah, it could be Vallejo, the backup shortstop to Trevor Story.
Yeah.
But I think they're all just going to be mixing in. David Dahl is an obvious sleeper, but I feel like he's one of those guys that is going to be overhyped this year. A little bit in the drafts, drafted high.
Maybe drafted. I think, right where you get him is going to be
Where he's going to do.
It's going to be what he's going to do. I think he's a 30 home run guy and 100 RBIs. I think
30 home runs and 100 RBIs. That's a high ceiling.
I'm going to say 28 to 30 home runs.
Okay, all right. You heard it here first from the dude himself, Hunter Bradshaw.
Getting solid starting time in left field, and Coors Field can do wonders for your bat. Right. I think 28 is reasonable.
All right. If you guys have any questions that you want to hear us answer, fantasy questions, MLB questions, any questions, please leave those in the comment section below. We'd love to get to you. Please tune in next week. It's going to be the same day. It's just going to be called Two Dudes and a Bro, featuring the baseball bro, Hunter Bradshaw, and our good friend, the commissioner, Ethan Dinitz. That'll be it for Bros Talk Baseball Extra Innings, our final episode. Unfortunately, it's sad that we couldn't do it with Chase, but we're out here in spring training. It's a beautiful day. It's a Monday, and, it doesn't get much better than this.
Doesn't get much better. Happy to be a part of this, and I think it's going to do great things.
Appreciate all the love out there, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. Love all the support that you give. I love the positive feedback and the comments and the likes and everything. So, for From one bro to the next, this is us signing out. See you guys next time.
And a couple of dudes. Peace.
That's good.
Young and dumb, thought you were the one. Running through my mind, got me on some. Every single night in my feelings. Got my feelings all started healing. Now I know I'm better off. Take your lies and put them in a cup.